Welcome everybody to this Microsoft Build on-demand session. My name is Layne, and I want to welcome you to Fluent 2. I'm looking forward to showing you today how Fluent 2 can help you design and build apps and experiences that seamlessly integrate into experiences all across Microsoft 365. I'll be joined in just a bit by Sarah Lee and Ian Guisard to dig into the details of Fluent 2 with you. First though, I want to say to you and everyone else that's watching today, congratulations. I'm saying congratulations because now you can build experiences that look and feel like the experiences used by billions of people all around the world. And that's pretty exciting, right? You might be asking though, but wait, how is that possible? Well, it's because these tools, developer documentation, design language guidance, UI kits for components, and more, they're now all available to you when you're designing and building your applications and experiences. Even the ability to make your application look great in dark mode with theming and high contrast support, what if I told you that all of that was now immediately available to you as well? Well, it is. And you get all of that and more with Fluent 2. But first, I want to let you know why you should watch this. First, I want to let you know the benefits of Fluent 2 are being made available to you and to other designers and developers around the world for Windows, web, and iOS. And you can learn more about Fluent 2 at the new website that we're launching today, fluent2.microsoft.design. Lastly, we want to let you know that Fluent 2 is going to continue to be developed in the open source, and more Fluent 2 features are coming. So you should stay in touch with us as these features are announced and made available to you over the coming months. So, again, one more time, Fluent 2 now available to you. Check it out at fluent2.microsoft.design, where you'll be able to find updated website documentation, updated design language guidance, updated UI kits that are made available through the Figma community, updated Fluent UI React components, updated Fluent UI iOS components, and WinUI components using the latest Fluent. So, today we're going to talk about first what you can do with Fluent 2, and then we're going to jump into a case study talking about the benefits that the team's application saw when they adopted Fluent for their engineers, for their designers, and for their end users. Next, Ian and Sarah are going to talk about what's new with Fluent 2, and then we're going to jump into a demo to show how you can use Fluent 2 in your application and your experiences. And finally, we're going to end up talking about what's coming next with Fluent 2. First, as a reminder, I want to let you know that Fluent is a design system built for all apps and platforms, and Fluent 2 is the next evolution of that design language. As we mentioned, Fluent 2 has design language and UI kits that are now available to you. It's got updated Fluent UI component documentation for developers, and all of this is being made available to you on the website. So go check it out. And Fluent 2, it makes your experience feel integrated and natural on whatever endpoint that you're building for. And as we all know, the more natural something feels, the more successful we can make users when they're using your experience. So again, this is why we invite you to come use Fluent 2 to build experiences that will make your users more successful. And you can build those experiences, as I said, Microsoft 365, Outlook, Teams, and more. So you might be asking, how do you build a Fluent 2 experience? How do you build something that is fully integrated into the app, is fully accessible by default, and handles theming, dark mode, high contrast natively right out of the box? Well, our motivation for this is that just like you, we had to solve these same problems in our applications as well, and we want to show you how we did it. So first, I wanted to let you know, Fluent 2 is used on Windows. It's used here, as you can see, on Office on Windows as well. And these two screens, you see how well they mesh nicely together. That's the power of Fluent on Windows. Next, Fluent 2 is used on the web. Here we have Microsoft 365 and Teams living side by side, looking like one ecosystem because it is one ecosystem. This is the ecosystem and the power of the Fluent 2 design language, making the experiences look and feel natural and great across all different experiences on the same platform. And finally, Fluent 2 is used on mobile. You might have seen the Loop on iOS launch recently. It uses Fluent 2. Microsoft 365 on iOS also uses Fluent 2. Elements such as the header area, the avatar, your presence, the search icon on the left, make all this available to you to help build consistent experiences that look great on iOS and all the other endpoints. Again, this is the power of Fluent 2. So again, Fluent 2, it benefits designers, developers, and users. And again, it's all about improving that end user experience. For developers and for the end users, the render time and the load time is super important. So that's why we made sure that Fluent 2 renders as fast as possible, getting users into their experiences as quickly as possible. It's also easier to write accessible UI and accessible UX because Fluent components are accessible out of the box. It's more easy to create coherent experiences across all different endpoints, all different applications, all different platforms. Again, the power of Fluent. All the components, all the tools between your developers and your designers across your entire product team, they're made consistent so that your team can work in a more efficient manner, whether it's using tokens, accessibility, the same color system. Again, this is all now available to you as we've been using it internally as well. And it saves time, as we know, saves money, and makes development across the teams more efficient. This is why Fluent is the right choice. So we want to let you know one more time, Fluent 2 is now available to you. Go check it out at the website, fluent2.microsoft.design. But you might still have questions. You might be asking, hey, can you show me an example of how to use all the different pieces of Fluent 2 to build a beautiful application? Well, here, Sarah's going to come and tell you how the team's application adopted Fluent 2 and all the benefits that they saw from their experience. And hopefully you can learn from this. So Sarah, take it away.
Thank you, EJ. Hi, everyone. I'm Sarah. I'm a product designer from Fluent team. And now I'll walk you through a case study that demonstrates how Teams has successfully been using Fluent 2. So before using Fluent 2, Team has some misalignment on visual styles as well as patterns within their app. Those differences may seem small, but when they add up, they can make integration design hard and burden our users to learn new patterns. In order to solve the problem, we identify how teams can adapt Fluent 2 and utilize shared design languages such as colors, shapes, elevation, type ref, and spacing. Here's how it looks like after applying Fluent 2 in Teams. Now we have more consistency in type ramp, spacing, and even components within the app. Fluent 2 integration in Teams brought a lot of benefit for everyone. First of all, Fluent 2 improves Teams performance for engineers. Now Fluent 2 React v9 components render up to 6 times faster than the previous UI library. And call stays rendering time decreases by 1.5 seconds. Not only that, the Fluent UI React v9 libraries use Fluent 2, and it is used across the company, which makes app integration teams much faster and easier. Fluent 2 allows designers to provide coherent accessibility pattern across the product. Shared design languages definitely streamline design process, making it really easier for designers to update and maintain foundation like colors, spacing, and time ramp. Also, Fluent 2 components are designed with accessibility in mind, which is very important for every user on the planet. So out of the box, those accessible building blocks give designers more time to focus on improving our product experience. So putting all these things together, it creates more accessible and intuitive experience for our users. And by having consistent experiences across the products, our users will have less things to learn and needed less time to recall how to interact with our product. So as you can see, Fluent 2 integration makes everyone's life easier, and even possibly yours. Sounds exciting? Let's take a look at the latest update in Fluent 2. So Fluent 2 contains design principles, design language, UI libraries, and guidance and specification of reusable components and patterns. Fluent 2 Web UI Kit includes all primitive components as a building block for designers to focus on improving the overall product experience rather than creating foundation from the scratch. In the UI kit, not only we have some anime components like spinner, but we also have components having placeholder like popover, which allows to easily swap with your own content. We also made great improvement on component configuration. So using auto layout and component property, we made the component very easy to modify, like resizing them and changing the icon within the component. Furthermore, component property help us to simplify the structure of the component and reduce a lot of layers and variant to optimize UIQ performance. What's more, design tokens such as color and type ramp, now they're migrate into the web UI kit, which means you have a single UI kit file that contains all necessary styles. And now you can find our Fluent 2 web UI kit in Figma community, so please check it out. Last but not least, we have Fluent 2 website, which includes design language documentation, UX guidelines, and component usage guidance for React component for you to create beautiful and cohesive Microsoft experience. I hope you found these updates as exciting as I did. Now I'll pass to Ian and he will give you more details of this update.
Hey Sarah, hi, I'm Ian. I wanted to share some of the key changes with Fluent 2. First one I want to talk about is colors. In Fluent 2, we unified our gray ramps. Previously, we had a warm and a cool set of grays, and now we have a single unified ramp for grays. This allows us to be more coherent across platforms and across products. Second, we increased the number of shared colors that we have. Previously, we had 31. We converged in some of the colors and also added, now we have to 49 different shared colors. Lastly, for brand colors, we increased dynamic range, extending from 13 slots to 16 slots. This improves the logic of how we develop interactive states and create accessible components. Second, I want to talk a little bit about accessibility. Right out of the box, all of our components are accessible. This applies for every platform. It could be iOS, Android, or web. Besides our accessible components, we also provide accessible themes. We're accessible in light, dark, and high contrast right out of the box. Lastly, besides the colors, we also provide accessible interactions. All of our components are keyboard and screen reader accessible. Now I want to talk about our design tokens foundations. Fluent 2 is built on top of a new foundation of design tokens. Design tokens is a common language for design and engineers to communicate specifications. This allows for an efficient collaborations when we're speaking the same language. Second, design tokens allows for consistency at scale. Centralized shared values ensure consistency design elements across platforms. Changes can be easily made in one place for better scalability. Next, it's adaptability. Centralized design values makes adapting to changing requirements a little bit easier, allowing for design systems to evolve over time. In Fluent 2, this is how we codified our design language using design tokens. We have design tokens for color, spacing, typography, elevation, stroke width, size, and border radius. At its most primitive level, we have our global abstract layer. Global abstract is where we encapsulate our hex values into a platform agnostic naming. So for in this case, we encapsulate the value 2424 as gray 14. Our global tokens are cross-platform aligned, so it doesn't matter which platform you're developing for, you can always call to the same value. Next, we created another abstract layer for alias tokens. Alias tokens are platform specifics, which allows us to abide by some of the platform rules to create platform-specific experiences. Here's an example between going from light and dark. We're switching between light and dark theme. However, the alias token remains the same. The only thing that's changing is our global token. As you can see here, as we switch, the global value changes from light and dark. Lastly, I want to talk about some of the cross-platform optimizations. Our typography now snaps to our 4-pixel grid. Our elevation has been redeveloped with platform differences in mind. And lastly, we're using the latest Fluent 2 icons. Now I want to hand it over to Paul to give you a demo of Fluent 2.
All right, thank you, Ian, for walking us through that. And now we want to show you in this demo time how you can take advantage of the latest value from Fluent 2 that Ian and Sarah just showed you. Before we get started, we want to make sure that you're fully set up. So I wanted you to follow the instructions on this slide. First, make sure that you have Visual Studio Code installed. Second, I want to make sure that you have the latest Microsoft Teams toolkit installed. You can follow the link here. Once you have the toolkit installed, you want to follow these instructions to make sure that you can see your app running in preview in Teams, Outlook, and Microsoft 365. And once you've done that, last but not least, you want to make sure that you have the latest Fluent UI React v9 library installed. It should already be there, but just in case it's not, you can follow this GitHub link, follow the instructions to get it set up. Now, let's jump into the demo. All right, so now we're into our demo, where on the left, you have Visual Studio Code running with the Teams toolkit already installed. And on the right, you have your application running in Teams first, and then also with tabs open of Outlook and Microsoft 365, which we'll get to in just a second. Jumping back onto the left, you'll see that we have Fluent 2 components already put in to the markup. We have the title component, title 2, title 3, the card component, the button component, table component, etc. And on the right, you'll see how all these components lay out, looking great by default in Fluent 2. Again, the power of Fluent 2 is that we can make these components and the UI that you build with them look great right out of the box in multiple endpoint experiences. What we're showing you here is, again, Teams, Outlook, and Microsoft 365, all showing your application looking great in these contexts, all looking natural right out of the box. This is light theme that we're showing first, but what if we wanted to show you what this application looked like in high contrast theme and in dark theme out of the box? Well, again, with Fluent 2, your application changes and adapts naturally to look great in each of these themes. Now, we want to open up our developer tools to show you how Fluent 2 takes care of accessibility for you so you don't have to worry about making sure that your components meet color contrast requirements. So as you can see with the button, with avatar colors, in dark mode and in light mode, Fluent 2 takes care of the work for you to make sure that your components stay compliant and meet accessibility color contrast requirements of 4.5 or more right out of the box. Now, what if you wanted to get your brand color into Fluent? What if you wanted to, say, change the background of your button to red? Well, you could do that with normal styling overrides. So as you can see here, the button is turned red. But as you can see, when we hover over the button, the background hover of the button is still blue. Why is that? Well, we only change the background color on rest state. As you see, on hover and on pressed state, it's still the default blue. Also, for the input control, you can see the interactive state is also blue. And if you're trying to bring your brand color into the application, it doesn't look like this one button override is going to do it for you. So how do we solve this with Fluent? Well, with Fluent 2, we have a concept called a brand ramp. And now I want to show you how you can bring that brand ramp into your application to update all of your different interactive states, not just for button, but for all of your components. So we're going to jump up to the brand variants section up here, and we're going to expand this. And you can see that in here, we have a 16-slot ramp, as Ian mentioned before, that has all the different brand colors that we want to use for this demo. And what this is going to do is we're going to be able to show you how you can update your interactive states and your rest states across all of your application by connecting these brand ramps into your light theme and into your dark theme. So we want to take our light theme object and put it down in the switch case down here, where we can set our app theme in case dark to dark theme. And then for the default case, we're going to set it to light theme. And now when we hit save, we're going to see the application on the right update with our new brand ramp, which now has purple on press, hover, rest, and for the interactive state of our input control. And it's not just for dark theme. When we go and update the application to light theme as well, you'll see that the colors are there fully updated. That is the power of using brand ramps with Fluent 2. So customization is more than just colors. What if we wanted to update something like the border radius of the card and other components inside of our application? Well, by using design tokens, we can do that. So what we're going to do now is we're going to override some of the design tokens that by default are set to one value in Fluent 2. But if we wanted to set it something like 20 pixels to give really soft edges, here you can see we've updated in one go the card border radius, the button border radius, and the input border radius. If we wanted to go something beyond that, say updating text across your entire application, you can do that too. Here we're going to set it to Consolis, and what you'll see is that we're able to update the font family, but still keep the font ramp that we have going, the type ramp that we have inside of our application. And so again, this leverages the power of design tokens to be able to make changes to your application, not just for one component, but across all of your components inside of your theme. So in closing with this demo, we want to make sure that you know all that you can get with Fluent 2. You have access to easy theming capabilities, easy access to dark mode, high contrast support, easy access to accessibility capabilities, easy access to design tokens. All this is available to you. Go check it out with Fluent 2. So now that you've seen how easy it is to use Fluent 2 to build a great looking application in Microsoft 365, in Teams, and in Outlook, we want to let you know what's coming next with Fluent 2. We're working hard on updates to Fluent, and we're working hard on updates for web, for iOS, Android, React Native components, and web components. We're also making improvements for design tokens and theme creation workflows like you saw earlier. There's so much more power that we want to make available to you. We're looking forward to making it available soon, so definitely stay in touch and stay tuned. There's much more than that to come. What's the best way, though, to stay in touch with us? Again, fluent2.microsoft.design should be your entry point for all things related to Fluent 2. For the UI component libraries, whether you're a developer or whether you're just interested in keeping up with open source workflow with Fluent, you can check us out on github/Microsoft/FluentUI. And finally, for designers who are looking to stay up with the latest in Fluent, in our Figmas, you can go to figma.com/@Microsoft for the latest design and UI kits. Other ways you can stay in touch with us, so Microsoft.com/design, and on our Medium site where we publish articles regularly, medium.com/Microsoft-design. Finally, on Twitter, we have Microsoft Design on Twitter. We also have Fluent UI Twitter. You can keep up with us there. You can reach out to us. Any questions that you might have, we'd love to hear from you. Thank you so much for watching. And please keep up with us, keep up with Fluent 2 at fluent2.microsoft.design. And we'll see you next time.